greetings and salutations to one and all. Welcome to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. And tonight we do a thing we call Healthy Love. I want to say big ups to Rupee T. I graciously accept the baton, sir. I want to say big ups to each and everyone locked in right now. Those hailing from across the pond. Top of the morning to you over there in the UK, One Harmony Radio. Big ups to those on WGLRO, home of the Donnie Walker Morning Show. With Donnie Walker taking it from the sheets to the streets. ClintonLindsay.com, the Foundation Radio Network. Big ups, Mr. Lindsay. Of course, big ups to those who are locked in on PEMGTV.com. Welcome. Big ups to those on Reggae Global Radio. Let me say it properly. Reggae Global Radio. How you doing? And of course, those at the home of the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, where we are encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment. Those on kevinstew.com. So glad to have you. I couldn't do it without you. You have my word, I wouldn't even try. Kicking it out with Hollaback. It's called Too Sweet.
You're pushing back on me, cause you know I love it rough. I'm falling for you, girl, and I know that is what you love. I know that is what you love, girl. Yes. You give me wine, and then I give you mine, girl. Tropical vibes, yes. Tropical wine, girl. You give me wine. To my love, girl, it's a fluctuate to my love. When you wind back, girl, when you wind back, girl, your bumper just fluctuate to my love. Girl, it's a fluctuate to my love. When you wind back, yeah. Too sweet when I wine pon you. You're too sweet when I wine pon you. Too sweet when I wine pon you. Baby, too sweet when I wine pon you. You're too sweet. I wine pon you, too sweet when I wine pon you. That's me luck. I get hurt every time, but I still coming back for your love. You're pushing back on me, cause you know I love it rough. I'm falling for you, girl, and I know that is what you love. I know that is what you love, girl. You give me wine, and then I give you mine, girl. Tropical vibes, yes. Tropical wine, girl. You give me wine, and then I give you mine, girl. Tropical vibes, yes. I give you mine. Your bumper just fluctuates to my love. Girl, it just fluctuates to my love. When you wind back, girl, when you wind back, girl, your bumper just fluctuates to my love. Girl, it just fluctuates to my love. When you wind back, too sweet when I wine pon you. You're too sweet when I wine pon you. Too sweet when I wine pon you. Baby, too sweet when I wine pon you. You're too sweet when I wine pon you. Too sweet when I wine pon you. You give me wine, and then I give you mine, girl. Tropical vibes, yes. Tropical wine, girl. You give me wine, and then I give you mine, girl. Tropical vibes, yes. I give you mine. Your bumper just fluctuates in my love. Girl, it just fluctuates in my love. When you wind back, girl, when you wind back, girl. Your bumper just fluctuates in my love. Girl, it just fluctuates in my love. When you wind back. Yeah, too sweet when I wine for you. You're too sweet when I wine for you. Too sweet when I wine for you. Baby, too sweet when I wine.
It's called Too Sweet.
Sweet when I wine for you. Too sweet when I wine for you.
The sound of Hollaback.
I just pick a wine, girl. You give me.
I want to say thank you to my sponsor of this segment of the broadcast, Reggae Global Pulse Media Group. Reggae Global calling my name, boy. Pulse Media Group and being in the moment is priceless. Give them a link for innovative streaming and recording solutions. Have an event you want to stream live. You have a website you want to host. You have one that you want to create. You have one you want to do streaming on your website. Looking for a secure medium to do it. That's where Pulse Media Group comes in. For everything you see right here on kevinstew.com and more. Give them a call 754-999-6020 or visit them at pulsemg.com. Pulse Media Group, and being in the moment is priceless. You know when you have that thing that's too sweet, yeah, that little thing, the thing that you enjoy so much, that if you don't have it, it'd probably change your life. Yeah, that thing. I want to say big ups to those locked in on Facebook Live. Remember, it's only temporary. So go ahead and pick your spot on kevinstew.com. For all the rest that don't remember that the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew exists, this is just a reminder. So when you have that little thing that is just too sweet and you just can't seem to get enough of it, how much of a life-changing thing is it? I saw a video a friend of mine sent to me on social media where this man's wife got him out of bed. She didn't get him out of bed at 6 a.m. She got him out of bed early enough to get to a place, a restaurant, at 6 a.m. when the restaurant opened, just for donuts. And he decided that he was going to video why it was that she got him out of, not only out of bed, but got him to take her to this restaurant for this thing. Talk about too sweet. That's you too sweet right there. Tonight we're talking about lifestyle and cognitive health. And I'm not too sure if those two have been put together all along. If it's a new thing. I don't know. Typically, you talk about lifestyle, you would think about your physical health. Not so much your cognitive health. I know when I think about my lifestyle, well, yeah. When you think about it a little bit, when you're intentional about the thought, it kind of jumps out at you. The cognitive relation to that life, that lifestyle. Hey Patrick, greetings man. How you doing, bro? So here we are tonight. We're looking at our cognitive health and we're looking at how our lifestyle could affect our cognitive health. Results from a new study suggest that lifestyle changes may help to improve cognition in older adults experiencing cognitive decline that precedes dementia. This is according to ScienceDaily.com. Now, in this study, published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, 119 individuals older than 65 years of age who were experiencing cognitive decline were randomized to a control group or an intervention group for 8 weeks. The control group received online information related to dementia and lifestyle risk factors, Mediterranean diet, physical activity, and cognitive engagement. Participants were instructed to implement this information into their own lifestyles. The intervention group received the same online information, plus active components to assist with implementing this information into their lifestyles. Dietitian sessions, an exercise physiologist session, and online brain training. Over 6 months of follow-up, investigators noted that participants in the intervention group were able to improve their lifestyle and had higher cognition scores than those in the control group. So there might be a little bit of something in this, just a little bit of truth to it, but it's just a little bit of truth that you need, right? The results suggest that lifestyle-based changes may modify the course of cognitive decline. We've known for some time that lifestyle changes such as these can reduce dementia risk in the general population. What this study adds is that with the right intervention, people experiencing cognitive decline may retain sufficient neuroplasticity for their brain to bounce back from decline. This was what the lead author, Mitchell McMaster, a PhD student at the Australian National University, had to say with regards to the study. Now, think about how many people you know that are suffering from cognitive decline. Just stop for a brief moment and think about it. Now, what if you knew, you had an idea, or you knew for a fact, at least over 50% positive, that something out there could possibly help with someone's cognitive decline? Would you recommend it? Would you do it? Apparently, there have been studies going on for quite some time relating to how lifestyle can affect cognitive decline. And I went and I did some searching, and I found quite a few pieces of bits of resources, material on the matter. There are some studies dating back to, 2007, I think, that far back. Various studies, and some of the very same information keep coming back. So maybe it is not so new. Maybe it's just that people are becoming more mindful. But nonetheless, tonight we're going to be looking at some information relating to some lifestyle changes or things that we do or can do in our daily lives that could help with cognitive decline. A novel lifestyle intervention may reverse, and that word seems to be popular in 2020, novel. It may be able to reverse cognitive decline in AD patients, Alzheimer's disease patients. Now, that's excellent news for Alzheimer's patients and excellent news for their families. In a study of 10 patients with memory loss associated with either Alzheimer's disease, mild cognitive impairment, or subjective cognitive impairment, researchers found that a personalized, comprehensive lifestyle intervention tailored to address metabolic deficits identified on lab testing as affecting the plasticity of the patient's brain improved memory loss. Cognition subjectivity or objectivity improved in 9 of the 10 patients within 3 to 6 months. Although interventions were tailored to each patient, they all included elimination of simple carbohydrates from the diet, increased consumption of fruits, vegetables, and non-farmed fish, and adherence to a strict meal pattern with timed periods of fasting. All interventions also included an exercise program, counseling on stress reduction techniques, and the use of a variety of daily supplements, including vitamin D3, fish oil, coenzyme Q10 or CoQ10, melatonin, and methylcobalamin. Now, the female patients were advised to resume previously discontinued hormone replacement therapy when it was appropriate. So, typically, when doing things related to cognitive decline and cognitive health, when looking at individuals who are already affected by Alzheimer's disease, it is tailored to each person. There's no one size fits all. And that kind of seemed like the logical thing to do, because each and every one of us are different. So to have a one size fits all approach to something like cognitive health, that might not work. Although, generally speaking, we could find some success with doing the same thing with multiple people. So this is what some of the studies have brought to light. And this one was as a courtesy of medscape.com. So they did these little studies, and you'll find as we go through the night and looking at the various studies and what they recommend, that they pretty much are centered around some of the same things. What I'm going to suggest even from now, before we get really deep into it, is that we don't wait until we get to the point of suffering from Alzheimer's disease. We start early and making that lifestyle change so it becomes a habit. And that habit becomes your new norm. Hey, China Nicole, welcome, 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 welcome. How you doing, my dear? So, we tonight we're looking at lifestyle and cognitive health. And as we go along, we encourage you to tell someone, hey, listen, check out Stu. Tonight we're talking about something that will benefit us all. Whether it is an older member of the family that is going through some changes with their cognitive health, or you might be realizing that you're in your 60s, your 50s, your 40s, and things are starting to change as it relates to your cognitive health. You're not as sharp as you used to be. You don't remember things the way you used to. Things like that. Well, there are things that we can do now that can make a difference. Things that we can do little by little. And it is some of those things that we're looking at tonight. 24 minutes after the hour. Welcome to the night shift. For those of you who are just tuning in, it's Healthy Love Night. We're talking about lifestyle and cognitive health. So, let me see which one of these I want to touch first. So, simple lifestyle changes to protect against cognitive decline. This is courtesy of mdlinks.com. And this was back in April of 2019 that they had put this information out. It seems that what's good for your body is also good for your mind. Well, why wouldn't it be? They're not disconnected, the body and the mind. Getting regular physical exercise, sticking with a healthy diet, drinking in moderation, getting enough sleep, they have all been clinically shown to improve physical health and possibly protect the brain from cognitive decline, especially that sleep part. The efficacy of lifestyle changes is particularly important in light of the aging of America, and I'd go out on a limb and say, and the world at large. A shift brought on primarily by the aging of the baby boomers, many of whom hit their golden years in 2011. Consider that by 2030, the number of older adults living in the United States will increase from about 45 million to about 70 million. Think about that for a moment. Let that sink in. From 45 million to 70 million older adults. However, the real trick to that would probably be making it to older adult age. Yeah. Hey Erica, how are you, my dear? According to results from the Finnish Geriatric Intervention Study to prevent cognitive impairment and disability, the acronym spells out FINGER. Go figure. And to all my Finnish listeners, hyvää huomenta to you. Regular physical activity, proper diet, mental challenge, and strong social connections may keep cognitive skills from decline, as well as improve reasoning skills and the speed in performing mental tasks. The FINGER study is the largest and longest randomized controlled trial focused on the effects of lifestyle interventions on preserved mental acuity. Researchers included 1,260 subjects who were followed for 2 years. So it wasn't a little overnight study there. They looked at some things and said, hey, we think that if we did this, that we should find some results. No, over 2 years. All the participants were aged 60 to 77 years and had risk factors for future cognitive impairment despite normal scores on mental function tests. Now, of course, when it comes to talking about normal scores, normal is relative. So they scored normally on their cognitive tests. The subjects were randomized to either the study group, which received health interventions, including personal nutritional counseling, exercise instruction from physical therapists, and cognitive training, as well as 7 medical exams, or the control group. Cooking classes, cognitive training, and exercise instruction were often carried out in groups among those in the study groups. The control group underwent only 3 medical exams and received none of the interventions the study group did. So, how did they fare out? What was different with the groups? We'll find out in just a moment. I don't want to push it too much, and I'm gonna say farewell to those tuned in on Facebook Live. Jump on over to kevinstew.com. The link is right there in the description. You don't have to go too far. Just click and boom, you're there. You don't have to register for anything. You don't have to sign up for anything. You're right there in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling. Those of you who are wondering what the stew pot is, others call it a chat room. But we're fancy over here on kevinstew.com. We call it a stew pot. So come on in, be a part of the ingredients, spice up the pot, and help to keep things bubbling. The number to call again, 773-789-STEW, 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp from wherever you are in the world. If you don't want to do that, you can Skype, kevin.stew. If you don't want to do that, of course, the stew pot is always there, ready and waiting. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to find out how they scored in the intervention groups. And Facebook Live, until tomorrow when we do the segment simulcast of Real Talk, I bid you guys farewell. Come on over, kevinstew.com. We'll be right back.
Policy Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulse Media Group.
It takes an entire village to raise a child. Hello, I'm Paul Campbell, here to talk about PALACE. Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. This nonprofit group supports students facing serious obstacles from entering or continuing their studies, not because the grades are failing, but due to the lack of financial support.
Over the past 8 years, PALACE has awarded 600 scholarships valued at approximately 50.3 million Jamaican dollars, or 415,000 US dollars.
Together, we must build a better future for our children. Please visit www.palace1.org and make your donation to brighten the future of a deserving child. Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
I'm Khalib Thompson.
I'm David Muir.
And we are the co-founders of a cultural nonprofit in Florida called Island Space.
For many reasons, now more than ever, we need the support of our communities.
As Caribbean Americans, we have the unique ability to claim everyone from the island as members of our Caribbean American family.
We are working to create a home for that family.
The Island Archives will become an internationally recognized museum of history.
Visitors can learn that although we are unique, we are truly stronger together.
Learn more at islandspacefl.org.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others, and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It's Christine representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin's Stew and the night shift radio show. Yo, it at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa, DJ Kevin's Stew have the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin's Stew believe him, and that's no doubt. Salute the night shift radio show. It's hard to talk. Loud.
Is a thief that can rob you blind. It can steal your life away. It doesn't matter who you are. It can take us all one day. But if it gets you, don't give in. Dig down deep inside, strength within. Find a little hope and faith, and let the healing begin. Challenge yourself to
sound of Lady B-Fly, Lady Die. It's called Just Never Give Up. I want to say thanks to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. Althea SU is a licensed massage therapist that comes to you operating out of Broward County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties. She comes with her table, she comes with her oils, and of course her Healing Heavenly Hands. Give her a call, 954-655-9000. Email her at thealater@att.net. She comes to you COVID free and she'd like to leave that way, so make sure that if you're calling her, you are COVID free also. Outside of paying her, she only asks that you get off her table when she's done and go sleep somewhere else. Call her 954-655-9000 or email her at thealater@att.net. Thank you, B-Fly, Lady Die, and thank you, Althea, for sponsoring this segment of the show. The track is called Just Never Give Up, and she wrote this track in the support of the fight against cancer. But clearly it can be applied to just about any aspect of our lives, especially when it relates to maintaining a healthy life. And tonight we're looking at doing so relating as it relates to our mental health and our lifestyle. So before we went off on the break, we mentioned this study called the finger study. And it's not actually a finger, as in the appendages at the end of your hand, but finger being the Finnish geriatric intervention study to prevent cognitive impairment and disability. How that worked out to be finger, I'm not, well, oh, you know what? I think it is the Finn from Finnish and the Ger from geriatric. I think that's how they got it. The finger study, the Finnish geriatric. So, that, I don't know. Outside of that, I can't come up with anything else. If you can come up with something else, you let me know. But that's the best I could come up with to be the finger study. And so that's the Finnish geriatric intervention study to prevent cognitive impairment and disability. Now, in the intervention group, overall scores were 25% higher compared with the control group. It was in processing speed and executive function, however, in the intervention group where they excelled compared with the controls. For example, measurements of response time were a full 150% higher in the intervention group than in the control group. And in tests of organization and reasoning, 83% higher. Now, that, as far as I'm concerned, is quite a change. So there's something that is in the intervention group, something that they're doing that seems to be helping. Recall, however, did not improve in either group. An important note here, though, is that the researchers found that the subjects stuck with the study because they enjoyed themselves and became friends with other subjects. The dropout rate was relatively low, only 12%. The intervention group had 3 to 5 exercise sessions per week, plus 10 to 12 nutrition counseling sessions, and 144 cognitive training sessions over the 2 years. Attendance was over 85%. So, what were some of the things that they applied in this study? What were some of the lifestyle changes that they used? We're going to get to that. And these have been shown to afford protection, even if it's minimal protection. They've been shown to provide protection against the ravages of age on the brain. And listen, some of the things that we're doing in our daily lives can be quite stressful on the brain, and those include just the way we get through our daily lives, believe it or not. So the lifestyle changes affected or gave protection as it related to cognitive decline, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease. The first of them being exercise. Now, for adults, in the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommend at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic physical activity each week. Unfortunately, about 80% of Americans do not get that amount of exercise in. And those aged 65 years or older have the lowest rates of physical activity. One of the concerns I generally have when it comes to the US and the lifestyle of us here in the US, we tend to be very sedentary. We tend to sit around a lot. And some of that includes just how we get to earn a living. Most of the jobs that we have, we sit around for 8 hours of the day. Very rarely getting up. Very rarely taking breaks. Very rarely getting in some exercise. And we get up from those, we leave out of those jobs, we jump into our vehicles and we sit in traffic for sometimes 2 hours, depending on the flow of traffic and how far you have to go. So now you have a 10-hour day with nothing but sitting. That can be a problem. And again, I'm no DR, I'm a DJ. So, but I believe that with all the reading that I've been doing over the past 10 years, I should have at least learned a little something. You know, with all the medical advice that I've come across, whether directly or in out by the way of studies or just overhearing it or catching it on a program. You know, you pick up some things here and there. One of the things I picked up was the sedentary lifestyle is a killer, physically and mentally. So that 150 minutes each week, we have to find a way to get it in. So while it's no secret that exercise is good, the data supporting its health benefits is in protecting against cognitive decline keep accumulating rapidly. So they're finding more and more information on it to say, listen, you get that physical in because it helps with the mental. In a meta-analysis of 14 randomized controlled trials, including 1,695 subjects with mild cognitive impairment, researchers found a significant improvement in verbal fluency caused by physical exercise. So, the more you move around, the more fluent your speech gets. That's crazy, right? But it brings a whole new meaning to running your mouth. So, researchers of another meta-analysis of 11 studies comprising of 1,497 patients with mild cognitive impairment found that aerobic exercise improved both global cognitive ability and memory, albeit only very slightly. But even a slight difference is a good thing in this, as it relates to this. Finally, in a Cochrane review, researchers concluded that regular exercise may benefit older adults with mild to moderate dementia in completing the activities of daily living. Just to take a walk, 150 minutes a week. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. We get through a soccer game, and I'll for the sake of the Americans, I'll say soccer. For the rest of the world, football game. We get through a football game in 90 minutes. And for those of us who actually play the sport, recreationally, you could play for a whole lot longer in just one game. I know typically I would do that on a Sunday morning. I'd be playing ball from about 8:30 till about 10:30 easily. Now, not to say that I would easily play ball for 2 hours, but 2 hours would go by easily while playing ball. Over the past few months, I have really dropped off. I get to each Saturday night with the question, so are you playing ball in the morning? And the response is typically the same. We'll see what happens in the morning. So, yeah, I know I need to get back on that. And it is important for maintaining good health. And we're finding out that, hey, it's important in contributing to cognitive health. And we want to stay on top of that, because a mind's a terrible thing to waste. Another thing that was looked at in the studies is the Mediterranean diet. Now, there are some that have tried this and said, listen, the Mediterranean diet can stay in the Mediterranean. Give me a Caribbean diet any day. And listen, that Caribbean diet is good beyond measure. It is tasty. It has variety. But there is something about a Mediterranean diet that just kind of sets the two apart. The benefits of the Mediterranean diet seem to extend from head to toe, literally. In addition to promoting good cardiovascular health and reducing the risk of certain cancers, this diet can also lower your risk of developing mild cognitive impairment, and in those with dementia, slows its progression. Many studies have been done to assess the effects of the Mediterranean diet, and all have shown that it is linked to better cognitive function and lower incidence of dementia. Built on a foundation of fruits and vegetables, olive oil, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, and beans, the Mediterranean diet consists of limited red meat and moderate amounts of fish, poultry, and dairy products. Now, again, when you look at things like fish, poultry, and dairy, the whole nutritional benefit changes when you look at the source. When you're getting your farm raised food, the fish grown in a lab or in a pond, the poultry and cattle in CAFO, in concentrated animal feeding operations, the quality of the product is reduced significantly. We all know this. We've heard the information over and over and over again. I've presented information on that several times over, and guess what? I won't stop. I'll continue to present information on that. Why? Because it is necessary. We need to maintain good health. And apparently the only way to do so is to be reminded of what good health is. Now, don't get it twisted when you hear me talking about the Caribbean diet and the Mediterranean diet. Growing up in the Caribbean, I have found that the Caribbean diet is well balanced. For starters, when it comes to the meat, the farm raised animals, they're typically open farmed. They're what they'd be referred to in the US as free range animals. People are raising their cattle, and you go to the cow farm, and the cattle are spread out across the farm. They're out there grazing, not in a building with the climate control, with these feeding troughs, which now you have to make sure you're adding antibiotics to the feed because they're in this confined area, and where they're eating and sleeping is the same place they're pooping and peeing, and now you end up with this mix that just doesn't really work. Yeah, when they're out there free range, they're defecating and urinating all over the place, but they're doing it outside in a free range, just the way they were created to do it. So it's different. And how it is the whole cycle, because there's no fertilizer that is more potent than cow dung, as far as I know. I remember growing up in Jamaica, there would be a man that would ride on his cart, his donkey cart, and be selling manure. And you'd hear him coming down the street shouting, "Manure!" And the first time I heard it, I was like, what is this man saying? He's coming down the street, "Manure!" And he's loud. And my grandmother, who was one to love her plants, would sometimes get this manure. And I would wonder, why is it that she would want to be buying? First of all, I thought the manure was a special fertilizer. I just didn't know that was just bagged up cow dung. But I can tell you, all the plants my grandmother had were always green and fresh. The roses that she had in her rose garden, beautiful and full. It was a thing, and it worked. So these animals were out there free range. The fish that we would get, fishermen would go. Listen, this is Jamaica. Fishermen were all over. And again, you'd have a vendor coming down the street. Fish, fresh fish. Fish, fresh fish. And they would come by and they would literally scale and gut the fish at the gate. Fresh fish. We didn't quite have that. We didn't have anybody walking around selling chicken. But I knew we had a close friend of the family that had a chicken farm. So it got to a point where our chicken it came from the farm. And I remember I went to the farm. I visited that farm once. And vowed to never go back again. Talk about stink. But that was my first exposure to a CAFO-like facility. And I say CAFO-like because there was a lot of space. It wasn't overcrowded. And we got good chicken. And we know a couple of other people that raised chickens in their yards. And that was some good eating chicken. So now, fast forward, and we're back here in the United States. Skip across the water, fast forward in time, we're back here. And the fish is farm raised, the chicken is farm raised, the dairy is farm raised, pumped with antibiotics and other additives. This is why now this Mediterranean diet could be so potent, so different, so beneficial. And the studies show that, hey, listen, they work. It works. So if you are in a position where you can try it, I say try it. It comes with a reduced amount or moderate amounts of fish, poultry, dairy, and limited red meat. I would say, depending on where you're getting this from in the US, you should be reducing it anyway. Because the majority of the food that we get is farm raised or genetically modified in some way. We're going to continue going down the list. There are a few more things on the list, and we want to touch on them before we get into our musical therapy. But we're going to take another little break. When we come back, we look at alcohol, we look at sleep, we look at another bit of information from another source. Call a friend, tell a friend. It's a night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Healthy Love Night. We're talking about lifestyle and cognitive health. How does your lifestyle affect your cognitive health? Is there anything that you can do to improve your cognitive health when you're at that age where Alzheimer's is starting to set in, dementia is starting to set in, your family members don't remember who you are? Can anything be done to help them? This is what we're looking at tonight. We'll be back after these few messages. When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of novel or new coronavirus. Take the following everyday steps to help avoid the spread of all respiratory viruses. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue. Throw the tissue away and then wash your hands. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects or surfaces, such as remote controls and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And stay home if you are sick. Call your healthcare provider if you develop fever, cough, or difficulty breathing. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today?
The only thing I didn't learn today?
The only thing I didn't learn
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Hey yo, this is Caramanti letting you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. Don't move.
EQ. Another day. Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning, Lord, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, Lord, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day, a lovely day.
at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day lies ahead of me, it seems impossible to face. When someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
The sound of that sibling group out of South Florida. It's called EQ. The Edwards Quartet. Andre, Angie, Nicole, Marsha. Their rendition of the song, the Bill Withers song. Lovely Day. I want to say thanks to Reggae Global Entertainment for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast. Reggae Global will act as your booking agents, take care of your tour management, handle your press releases, legal service referrals, trademarks, publishing, copyright, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Give them a call, 954-998-8034. Or pay them a visit at reggaeglobalentertainment.com. Reggae Global Entertainment, home of Reggae Global Radio. You know, I just love how they do this arrangement, and Marsha gets up there with those notes, boy. Ooh, I tell you. That's EQ, Edwards Quartet. Look out! More things coming from them soon and very soon. If you've never heard them live, it's amazing. They blend. Well, you know, there's nothing like sibling harmonies. Really, there isn't. And when you come across a group of individuals who are not related that can gel like that, you want to hold on to them. Big ups to SDS, Sensational Dynamic Sound, one such female group coming out of South Florida also. Big ups to them. All right, so we're talking lifestyle and cognitive health tonight on Healthy Love. For those of you who don't know the number to call in, to text in, you can tell your stories. You can share your ideas. 773-789-STEW, 773-7839. You can WhatsApp. Of course, the stew pot is also available. Come on over to kevinstew.com. Jump into the stew pot. The water is always bubbling and inviting. I didn't even check in with those on Reggae Global Radio in the chat room over there on Reggae Global Radio. Let me check in really quick and see if anybody is chatting it up over there. Okay, no new messages over there from them. Everybody taking notes. Hey, listen, y'all can share too, you know. Yeah, don't feel too worried about it. It's a judgment-free zone here on kevinstew.com. So feel free to share we'll all benefit from it. All right, so going through looking at some of the lifestyle changes that are recommended that can help with having a good cognitive health or maintaining or restoring cognitive health. And another one relates to alcohol. Now, moderate consumption of alcohol may reduce the risk for cognitive decline and dementia, according to several studies, including one from JAMA. In this analysis of data from the cardiovascular health study, researchers found that those over 65 years old who drank 1 to 6 alcoholic beverages per week had a lower risk of cognitive decline and dementia compared with non-drinkers. I'll say it again. Study researchers found that those over 65 years old who drank 1 to 6 alcoholic beverages per week had a lower risk of cognitive decline and dementia compared with non-drinkers. In another study, resveratrol, a compound found in red wine, successfully broke down beta amyloid, a sticky compound that accumulates in the brain and comprises of abnormal protein deposits characteristic of Alzheimer's disease. However, they say, listen, yeah, the drinkers apparently are faring better off than the non-drinkers if you're not overdoing it. But they still need to do some more studies. And no one is recommending drinking to fight cognitive decline or Alzheimer's disease just yet. I don't think, I am not recommending it as a DJ, and I haven't come across a DR, a doctor, that has recommended drinking to overcome cognitive disease or cognitive decline. Now, as most people know, something that eludes quite a lot of us, adequate sleep is undeniably associated with cognitive function. How many mistakes have you made after a night of tossing and turning? Those who sleep less than recommended 7 to 8 hours a night consistently have lower mental function scores, according to research. Sleep may also have a vital role in the upkeep of the brain, which may be due in part to the consolidation of learning and memories that occur during sleep. The association may be especially strong in those who are older. See? Lack of sleep. Say strong and say wrong. Or say strong and get it wrong. In a recent review, researchers found that poor sleep is indeed a risk factor for cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. In several of the studies included in their review, previous researchers showed associations between sleep variables and measurements of AD pathology, Alzheimer's disease pathology, including CSF measures of AB and PET measures of AB deposition, which is the deposit that is found in the brain. In experimental studies, investigators showed that decreases in slow wave sleep could actually decrease clearance of AB from the brain, while others have shown that sleep disordered breathing may actually increase the AB production. So, that's a little bit scary, because a whole bunch of us are not getting the adequate sleep that we need. And less of us are doing what is required in order to get that sleep. I want to say greetings to those jumping into the stew pot. I was actually looking out for my cousin to join us tonight because today is her Earth date, and I was really waiting for her tonight to wish her a special happy Earth date. So if you all see Sharon jumping into the stew pot, just go ahead and wish her a happy Earth date. All right. The takeaway from some of these studies is to find an exercise regimen, a diet, or mental stimulation that you enjoy, and keep that going. Start it and stick with it, because in the long run, at the end of the day, your brain will say, listen, thank you very much. Because people who are physically active and have reduced risk tend to have reduced risk for cognitive decline, Alzheimer's disease, vascular dementia, and other dementias. And this is according to alsdiscovery.org. The WHO GDG evaluated several systemic reviews that tested the effects of aerobic exercise, training exercise, and multimodal exercise interventions. Results from these studies suggested that physical activity has a small but beneficial effect on cognitive functions, and benefits are greater for aerobic training compared to resistance training. Based on these findings, the WHO GDG strongly recommends physical activity to reduce the risk of cognitive decline. Physical activity includes sports and planned exercises, as well as walking, cycling, and, believe it or not, household chores. Now, that doesn't mean that we need to be ordering our parents around to be doing household chores for their mental health. No, that's not what they're saying here. But household chores are included in the list of things that you can do to promote cognitive health. For adults aged 65 years and above, the WHO recommends 150 minutes or more moderate intensity aerobic physical activity per week, or 75 minutes or more vigorous intensity aerobic physical activity per week, or an equivalent combination of moderate and vigorous activity. You know, in some of the nursing homes, and the GDG, by the way, is the Guideline Development Group. And most people know what WHO is, the World Health Organization. It's interesting that in some of the nursing homes, I've heard from individuals working in the nursing homes that they can be a bit frisky in there. And the frisky ones tend to be a bit witty. So I don't know if the wittiness and the friskiness kind of go hand in hand. Maybe that's another study. Sex and the brain. I need to look into that one. Smoking cigarettes is associated with serious health risks. We all know this. These include many types of cancer, cardiovascular disease, asthma, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. Observational studies have shown that people who smoke are also at a higher risk of developing all types of dementia, and up to 79% increased risk of Alzheimer's disease, specifically as all the types of dementias are looked at in the studies. The WHO GDG strongly recommends interventions for quitting tobacco use, since they may reduce the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. We know that these times, these days, tend to be so stressful that some people are driven to smoke as well as they're driven to drink. Others are driven to exercise. Of the three, I would go with the last, the exercise. There are behavioral as well as drug interventions for quitting tobacco. Behavioral interventions include counseling, mindfulness-based approaches, cognitive behavioral therapy, contingency management, and others that, depending on who you go to speak with, can recommend. Drug therapies include nicotine replacement therapy, bupropion, and I've never heard of this one. Varenicline. I've never heard of that. Combinations of both behavioral and pharmacological blah 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 pharmacological approaches have been reported to be most effective. Try saying pharmacological like 12 times. Too many? Okay, say it 3 times fast. No, don't say it 3 times fast. Say pharmacological 3 times fast. Next on the list, social activity. Social isolation is a risk factor not only for dementia, but also for hypertension, coronary heart disease, and depression. Low social participation, fewer social contacts, and more loneliness have all been associated with increased dementia risk. Pause for a moment. Consider this period of time that we're living in right now, where social distancing and quarantining is the order of the day. You see the problem? Yep. So the WHO GDG evaluated 3 randomized control trials that assessed the association between social activity and cognitive function. And one of the 3 found that that a social activity intervention improved cognitive functions. Based on limited and inconclusive evidence, the WHO GDG did not make specific recommendation for social activity to reduce the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. But they noted that social participation and social support are strongly connected to overall health and well-being and should be encouraged throughout life. So this social distancing thing, again, could be more harmful than helpful. And we need to be mindful of that. Observational studies have also reported that people who are obese in midlife have an increased risk of dementia compared with those with healthy body weight. Being overweight or obese is also linked to several medical conditions, including type 2 diabetes, cancer, and cardiovascular disease. Based on a systemic review suggesting that lifestyle interventions aimed at weight loss could improve some cognitive functions, such as attention, memory, and language, the WHO GDG made a conditional recommendation for weight management interventions in middle-aged adults, but not for elderly people. The WHO recommends for people who are overweight and obese, include the following things in their lifestyle: eat a healthy, balanced diet, eat low glycemic index foods, that being your beans, lentils, oats, and unsweetened fruit as their source of carbohydrates, and reduce sedentary behavior while increasing physical activity. So the sitting around, you want to minimize that as much as possible. If not, going to a Mediterranean diet, to a Mediterranean blended type of diet. and the low glycemic index foods. So that all those, well, pretty much would be a part of that Mediterranean or a variation of that Mediterranean diet. The WHO guidelines are good news in that there are steps you can take to reduce your cognitive decline and dementia. These recommendations are very rich in line with the 7 steps for brain health. And I'll quickly, well, actually, I won't quickly go through those. What I will do, though, is suggest that you visit alzdiscovery.org. That's ALZ or Z, depending on which parts of the world you hail from. alzdiscovery.org or alzdiscovery.org. Check them out. Look up their 7 steps for brain health and see what they say. Definitely, you want to be looking at your diet. You want to be looking at your alcohol intake. You want to be mindful if you're a smoker to try to end up being a non-smoker. You want to be looking at whether you have a sedentary life or a very active, physically active life. You want to be looking into your sleep patterns. All these things you want to be looking at to reshape your lifestyle in an effort to maintain or stimulate healthy cognitive use, or to say cognitive health, to stay cognitively healthy. Make sense? I hope it does. But in and all through it, you want to remain consistent. And don't think that it's the end, just remain resilient.
Lord, watch over me with thy rod and staff. As I travel these streets, day out, day in.
This is the sound of Hezron. It's called Resilience.
Protect those dearest to me with a ready sword. Let no harm come to them from the enemies.
You know, I have to kind of stop Hezron right there for just a moment. As he said, let no harm come to them from their enemy. Earlier this year, there was a man by the name of Daniel Prude that died in New York and it was as a result of an arrest. It was said that he was high on PCP and it was basically his own fault. He came to his demise. Listen out for some brand new information to come as it relates to Daniel Prude's death. Listen out for it. It is coming. Mark my words. And this information is just going to be mind-blowing. Now, it may come as a surprise to some. To others, they'll say, see, I told you the system. Well, wait for it. Information to come on Daniel Prude's death.
Lord, watch over me with thy rod and staff. As I travel these streets, day out, day in. Protect those dearest to me with a ready sword. Let no harm come to them from the enemies.
they infiltrate and manipulate the simple and innocent. Polluting the minds is their agenda. Imposing laws of their sinful cause they want us to accept. I stand resilient. I know. Every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. I stand resilient. As you said, one of my words go astray, even in earth shall pass it. Sometimes I feel alone, on the spot I feel alone, but I know I'm not, 'cause you're seeing eyes watching over me. I'm resilient, 'cause I know you rule and reign. Yeah. Some say if you make it in a life, you have to know if you play ball. Not even like the terminology, not like how we sound at all. Them say you can't reach nowhere if them no sign it off. Me I feel laugh to myself like a them name God. Well, I'm a lion in this jungle, still I remain humble. The road may be rocky at times, but my faith, Lord, it never stumble. You say the liquor what the righteous have, better than the riches of the wicked. Not one of your seas shall sit by the sidewalk and beg. I stand resilient. I know, 'cause I know every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. I'm resilient, 'cause you said one of my words goes straight to the sometimes I feel alone, on the back I feel alone, but I know I'm not, 'cause you're all seen eyes watching over me. I'm resilient, 'cause I know I'm not a perfect man, Lord. I've got my own demons, yeah, but you'll never see me sitting in the council of the ungodly, 'cause I know in you all things are possible. No weapon can come against me. With you, victory's guaranteed. I stand resilient. I know, 'cause I know every knee shall bow, every tongue.
I want to say thank you to GMAT Music Solutions for sponsoring this segment of the show. It's called our Musical Therapy. GMAT Music Solutions provides sound, light, and stage production services, musical equipment, audio engineers, DJs, PA systems, bands, musicians, singers, and so much more. Give them a call, 754-307-GMAC. At 754-307-4622, or visit them online at gmatmusicsolutions.com. You can also do your online shopping there.
Sometimes I
taste them dread out a road I run red. I don't know if me I gonna make it home.
This is Korik.
Good boys and police running wild in the streets, and it feels like a war zone.
It's called Give I Faith.
Work so hard I can't let down my guard, cause robbers want to take my one. But goodness and mercy will guide and protect me, so me know so me not alone. But I need faith to go on. In all this ya Gideon, I need your strength to hold on. Cause on my own I'm just not strong enough. Give me faith to go on. In all this ya Gideon, I need your strength to hold on. Cause on my own I'm just not strong. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. The hearts of men have grown desperately wicked, and them seek the taste of blood. No compassion for humanity. I'm wondering what they're made of. Jaja, something seriously wrong with your people. Them not seem to have no love. And I'm of that point of view that we need to turn to you to give us faith to go on. In a this ya Gideon, I need your strength to hold on. Cause on my own I'm just not strong enough. Give my faith to go on. In a this ya Gideon, I need your strength to hold on. Cause on my own I'm just not strong enough. But if you stand with us and help us to rise up, nothing can harm us, no. Cause we know that even in this time, with faith, courage, and a just cause, David will still beat Goliath. So we pray, and we wait. Oh, yeah. But in the meantime, we're calling on you. Hey, give us faith to go on. In a this ya Gideon, I need your strength to hold on. Cause on my own I'm just not strong enough. Give my faith to go on. In a this ya Gideon, I need your strength to hold on. Cause on my own I'm just not strong enough. Is it getting better?
This is the sound of Cesar.
Do you feel the same?
It's called One.
Will it make it easier on you now? You've got someone to blame. Well, it's one love, one life, it's one need, the night, one life, it's a sharing.
keep an ear open for some more stuff coming from Cesar.
Not the same. Yeah, we hurt each other and we do it again. You would say love is a temple, love's the higher law. Love is a temple, love's the higher law. You ask me to enter, but then you make me crawl. I can't be holding on to what you got when all you got is hurt. One love, one blood, one life. You got to do what you should. One dream with each other, sisters, brothers. One life, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other, carry each other. They say it takes love to make the world go round.
This is Ed Robinson.
But we know it takes hate to make it all tumble down.
More we are together.
We know that what goes up don't always come back down. No, but when it goes around, we know it's have to come back around. So if you're digging one pit, my brother, better you just dig two. And if you're setting one trap, my sister, set another one for you. Don't you know things are always never what they seem? No, my reality could sometimes be your dream. But the more we are together, the happier we shall be. The more we stand together, the stronger we shall be. Yes, the more we are together, the happier we shall be. The more we stand together, the stronger we shall be. Yeah. Instead of building walls, let's build bridges instead. Instead of fighting wars, let peace go ahead. Remember, today is for you, but tomorrow's for me. Yeah. The light has been shining for you. Don't be so blind to see. Yeah. Things are always never what they seem. No, my reality could sometimes be your dream. The more we are together, the happier we shall be. The more we stand together, the stronger we shall be. Yes, the more we are together, the happier we shall be. The more we stand together, the stronger we shall be. This is a warning. Whatever goes around will come back around. This is a warning. Don't let your walls come tumbling down. This is a warning. 7 times rise and 7 times fall. This is a warning. Rise up your mind, let it stand up tall. Yes, the more we are together, the happier we shall be. The more we stand together, the stronger we shall be.
Pray upon it, pray upon it. Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it, don't give up.
This is the sound of a Twiggerific one.
Pray upon it,
Twiggy.
ever walk away from it. Don't you
It's
quit,
called Don't Give Up.
play with it, don't give up.
10 minutes to go.
You gotta know
just before we get on out of here, this is on a Gramps Morgan. Darling, it's you.
Cause I've worked the hardest day, before I rest my weary head, I just wanna say to you, darling, it's you that I want when I'm feeling down inside. And darling, it's you that I love when I think of the sweetest time. When I'm with you, all is well, and I'm living a perfect life, darling, with you. Darling,
there she is, there she is.
As I love.
Happy Earth Day to you, my cuz.
I don't plan the ease of the pace.
Hailing out of beautiful Jamaica. My beautiful cousin.
But for now, I'll just say to you, darling, it's you that I want when I'm feeling down inside. Darling, it's you that I love when I think of the sweetest time. When I'm with you, all is well, and I'm living a perfect life, darling, with you. Darling, it's you,
Yeah, you know. I'm gonna play this one for you, especially Sharon.
Find out 1 in a million.
It's called 1 in a Million because you are.
I seen a girl around the corner, all it did was make me think of you and I'm missing you. Girl, feel like I can't take no more. I've been trying, but you won't take my calls at night.
One more Gramps for you.
Missing you. Girl, I know I messed up, but I fessed up. Thought a little time would bring you back. Now I'm a wreck, cause it clearly wasn't so.
I tell you this though, cause
so tell me what to do or what to say to make it right.
all of them were gone.
I need your arms around.
They needed to go.
To me, you're worth a trillion.
If they don't understand that you're worth a trillion and you're 1 in a million, even a 1 in a zillion, they needs to go.
If you would give back your heart,
Happy Earth Dates to you, cuz
I'd spend a lifetime making it up to you. Every night coming home to you. Oh, 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 yeah.
and with Jah by your side, you can do anything and get through it all. You made it through one more year. Amidst all the trials and temptations and COVID outbreaks all over the place, you celebrated yet another Earth Date. This is SDS.
I won't be afraid, no, of the terror that crawleth by night, no, the arrow by day. Yeah, with Jai by my side.
Suzanne Sultry,
I won't be afraid,
Shauna Dazzle, Dottie.
of the terror that crawleth by night, no, the arrow by day. Yeah. Oh, can I fear where the people them say my job is stronger in every way? Make the news people chat, me no response to that. I know that everything will be okay.
Look how many storms you've already been through.
Not one of them
ever conquered you.
Some battles you fight on your knees, then you cut and go through. Cut and go through. 'Cause Jah is by my side.
gonna be.
A nice little mix just for you, cause
we're dancing all night.
We're dancing all night, celebrating your Earth Day. It's straight.
Got the reggae music rock you all night. We won't till daylight. We dance.
Inviting those who are on Reggae Global Radio to stick around. Shinehead should be up next. Kingston 12 Hi-Fi. Hi-Fi. This is Inner Circle working out with Lunch Money. Lunch Money Lewis.
If you're rocking in the club, you gotta show me love. I know
Alex from TOK.
it's hard sometimes.
And King Charles. This is how I bounce out of here tonight. Catch me tomorrow, same time, same place, right here, kevinstew.com and the affiliates. 10 p.m. Eastern, kevinstew.com. Real Talk Wednesday as we close out the night shift week right after Marlon. For the real rockers.
I never wanna waste your time, but the only thing I know for sure, one day that the sun gon' shine. Yeah. All night, all night, all night, all day. Yeah. All night, all night, all night, all day. I was split fun, drink on culo. All over, I don't know what you want. No squares in a circle, no curfew. We dancing all night.
Catch y'all later. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you good night. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.